I am Anil Kumar. Welcome to my series on polynomials. We'll try to understand how to divide polynomials and write division statement. Let me thank Kapil for sharing these questions with me, and I hope their solution will help many others. So the question really here is to divide and write quotient and remainder. So we have 6 examples here which will cover a wide variety, and so you will understand how to do long division and get quotient and remainder. So basically we are going to divide the dividend. So whatever comes here is called dividend. Then the number which you divide by is called divisor. The polynomial, which is here x plus 4, will be called divisor. On the top is our answer, which is called the quotient. And at the end, whatever remains is called the remainder. Okay, so that is how they are linked. And when you divide, we may like to write a division statement also. So the division statement could be written in 2 different forms. The most common is that the dividend basically is equal to divisor times quotient plus remainder. So let me write down the division statement here as dividend is equal to divisor times quotient plus remainder. Now, an easy way to remember all this is take a simple example. Let us say if I am dividing 7 by 5, then 5 times 1 is 5 and the remainder is 2. So you could write in this case that 7, that is the dividend, is equal to 5 times 1 plus 2, correct? So that is what it is. Exactly same, but instead of numbers, now we have polynomials, and we call it polynomial division. And this statement here is called polynomial division statement. Is that clear? Now let's take one by one all these examples and then further understand the details of how to divide polynomials. The very first example here is we need to divide x squared plus 2x plus 24 by x plus 4. So like we do long division, in the same fashion, we are going to divide a polynomial by another polynomial. So you need to write the polynomial in a particular order. Highest degree first and then the lower degrees, right? So they should be arranged in a particular order. That is very important. And then we have a divisor here, x plus 4. To divide, since we have 2 terms, we will engage 2 terms, right? So x squared plus 10x, we have to ensure that x squared goes fully, so we have to multiply by x. X times x is x squared plus 4x. Now we need to take away, just as we do in division. So when you take away for x squared from x squared, you get 0. Here from 10x, if you take away 4x, you get 6x. Now bring down the next term, which is 24. We can further divide it by 6. So plus 6. The idea is to get rid of the very first term, the leading term here. 6 times x is 6x and 6 times 4 is 24. Now in this case, the remainder is 0. So if the remainder is 0, we conclude that x plus 4 is a factor of x squared plus 10x plus 24, right? The question began with writing the quotient and the remainder. So in our case, the quotient q let me write quotient, is x plus 6 and the remainder is 0. So if remainder is 0, that really means that x plus 4 is a factor of x squared plus 10x plus 24, right? Does it make sense? So that is what it means. So you will realize that if you multiply x plus 4 and x plus 6, we get x squared plus 10x plus 64, right? So we could also write this as like this, which is also a division statement. That is to say that x squared plus 10x plus 24 is actually equal to x plus 4 times the quotient, which is x plus 6, right? Clearly, x plus 4 is a factor. It divides fully into x squared plus 10x plus 24, right? So whenever you get remainder 0, that means we have got a factor. Now let's look into the next example. B. 3x plus 2x squared plus 4x cubed divided by x minus 4. Now in this you will see that they are not arranged properly. So first step is we need to arrange them in order. Highest degree should come first. So the question now should be written as 4x cubed plus 2x squared plus 3x divided by x minus 4, correct? So that should be the equation now, right? Now let's divide and get our result. So the process of division is same as we did in part A. So we'll now divide 4x cubed plus 2x squared plus 3x plus 3x. Now since you are dividing by x minus 4, you may write plus 0 also at the end, but we will see how it goes. We have x minus 4 as our divisor. Since we are dividing by two numbers, we'll engage the first two numbers. We need to multiply by 4x squared to make this as 4x cubed. So in the quotient, we get 4x squared. So that should be 4x cubed minus 16x squared. Now take away. So when you take away, this becomes positive. So we get 18x squared, bring down 3x. Now we need to multiply by plus 18x. So that gives you 18x squared minus 4 times 18. So 4 times 18 is 8 times 4 is 32. 3, 72, right? And we get x. Take away 18x squared minus 72x. So we get here 75x. Now see, we need to add 0, which is a placeholder. Bring down 0. We can now multiply this by 75, right? So if you multiply by 75, you get 75x minus 75 times 4, which is 4 times 5 is 20, and 4 times 7 is 28, we get 30. So the remainder here will be 300. So in this case, we get quotient as equal to 4x squared plus 18x plus 75, and the remainder is equal to 300. Correct? So that is how you're going to do it. So what you learned here is that in case the terms in the dividend are not arranged properly, you need to arrange them and also include placeholder like 0 in this case before dividing. Is that clear to you, right? So now let's take part C. Now in part C, let me correct this. This should be x, right? So we have 2x cubed plus x squared plus x plus 9 divided by 2x minus 1. So let us write down the dividend, which is 2x cubed plus x squared plus x plus 9 divided by 2x minus 1. You can actually pause the video now, answer the question, and then look into my suggestions. So we can multiply this by x squared. We get 2x cubed minus x squared take away. So when you take away, you get 2x squared plus x. Now we need to multiply this by x. So we get 2x squared minus x. When you take away 2x squared minus x, you get 2x here. That becomes positive. Bring down 9. And now you can multiply by 1. So that gives you 2x minus 1. And the remainder in this case is 10. So you can write quotient as equal to x squared plus x plus 1, and the remainder as equal to 10. Now sometimes you may be required to write a division statement. So you may write division statement also. Let me show you an example here. As 2x cubed plus x squared plus x plus 9 is equal to divisor times quotient, which is 2x minus 1 times x squared plus x plus 1 plus the remainder 10, right? So that becomes your division statement. Perfect. Now let's take part D. Now in part D, you notice that these terms need to be rearranged, right? We have x4, 3, square x, they need to be rearranged. So while writing, I'll rearrange them. Okay, so we have here x to the power of 4, and then plus x cubed, and then minus 2x, 3x squared, and then we have plus 3x minus 12, right? This has to be divided by 2 plus x squared. Now here also you notice that one term is missing. We do not have x term. So we'll write that with the 0 coefficient. That is called the placeholder, right? So that is very important to understand. So in this case, missing term is in the divisor, right? So this, which we have used as 0 here, this is called the placeholder. It does not change the divisor. Divisor still remains the same. However, it will help us to properly align while dividing, right? So x squared plus 0x plus 2 will now be the divisor. And this is your, so we had to write x cubed, and this is x squared, right? First term is x to the power of 4, sorry. So first term is x to the power of 4, x cubed minus 3x squared plus 3x minus 2. That's correct. So let's begin. So we'll now engage 3 terms since there are 3 terms in the divisor. So here we are going to write what? X to the power of 2. Since we need x4 here, right? Okay. So we get 0x cubed. Do you see the placeholder properly aligned? That is the significance of the placeholder. Now when you take away, you get x cubed here. When you take this away, you get minus 5x squared. Bring down the next term, which is 3x. Now we need to multiply by x, so we get x cubed plus 0x squared and plus 2x. Now when you take away, you get minus 5x squared. This will give you plus x. Bring down minus 12. Now we need to multiply by minus 5. So we get minus 5x squared plus 0x, and this will be minus 10. Subtracting, we get our remainder as x plus 8. We cannot divide further. You will notice that when the divisor is of degree 2, then the remainder will be of degree 1 or a constant or a 0, right? 0 is also a constant. Correct? So in this particular case, what is our quotient? Well, the quotient here is x squared plus x minus 5, and the remainder r is x plus 8, right? Let's do the next question. E. Now in this case, I think you can do it yourself. You can now pause the video, write the question, and then solve it. Divisor 4x minus 1 is clear. Do you notice something here? X squared term is missing. So we'll again use a placeholder. So we have 4x to the power of 4 minus 5x cubed plus 0x squared. That is the placeholder. X squared term is missing. It helps to align. Minus 7x plus 1. Now let's divide. So we need 4x to the power of 4. We'll use two terms. We'll multiply by x cubed. So we get 4x cubed times 4 to the power of 4 minus x cubed here, right? So when you take away, you get minus 4x cubed here plus 0x squared. Now it goes x squared times, you get minus 4x cubed minus, and minus becomes plus x squared. So when you take away, you get these terms cancel. You get minus x squared here and minus 7x from the top. You'll multiply it now since it is minus x squared and here we have 4. So we are going to multiply by 1 over 4. Clear? That is kind of very critical to understand, right? So when we get this 1 over 4, then this becomes minus x squared and the next term will become plus 1 over 4, x, right? So 1 over 4x. Now you need to take away from 7 1 over 4. So it becomes what? You can do it on the side. So we have minus 7 minus 1 over 4. Common denominator being 4. We get minus 28 minus 1. So we have here minus 29 over 4x. And bring down plus 1. Correct? Now we should be multiplying this by 29 times, because one of the 4's will get cancelled. So we have to divide it by 29 over 16, right? So we'll write here in the quotient as 29 over 16. So that when multiplied by 4x will give you minus 29 over 4. In fact, minus. Is it okay? So now we get minus 29 over 4x and that gives you plus 29 over 16, right? So the remainder now here is from 1 we have to take away 29 over 16 and that is 16 minus 29 over 16, right? So that is a negative number. From 9 I can write 3 and then from 2 as 1, 13 over 16. That is the remainder, minus 13 over 16. So in this particular case, the quotient for us is x cubed minus x squared minus 1 over 4x minus 29 over 16. And the remainder is minus 13 over 16. Is that clear? So that is how we are going to get the quotient and the remainder for this particular question. Okay, so let's move on and take the next example. Now here is the last question to divide. We need to divide x to the power of 4 minus x cubed plus x squared minus x plus 1 by x cubed minus 2. What do you suggest? How should we go about? Well, as far as the dividend goes, the numerator part, that is clear. It has all the terms in it, x to the power of 4 minus x cubed plus x squared minus x plus 1. However, the divisor has a couple of terms missing. We do have x cubed, but we don't have x squared. So we'll have to have a placeholder here. Even the x term is missing. That will also go with a placeholder and then minus 2. So that is kind of important to understand, right? Now there are 4 terms and therefore we'll engage 4 terms. So we should be multiplying by x that goes into the quotient. So we get x to the power of 4 plus 0x cubed plus 0x squared minus 2x. Now if we take away, what do we get? We get x plus 1 as our remainder. So in this particular case, we have a quotient which is x, right? So we have a quotient which is x and the remainder, which is x plus 1. That's it. So that is how we should be dividing polynomials to get our quotient and remainder. I hope that makes sense. Feel free to write your comment, share your views, and if you like and subscribe to my videos, that'll be great. Thanks for watching and all the best.